Alright, let me get you guys up to speed here quick. Why are we dead tired walking out of a hotel in Kansas City on, what day is it even? Saturday the 11th of March 2023. Basically, last week I sold my 2004 Cadillac CTS-V, and 20 minutes later, one of the cheapest C5 Z06 Corvettes popped up for sale, and we're on our way to go get it.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Performance on Wheels. I just bought myself one of the cheapest C5 Z06s in the country. I am currently driving my newly purchased 2002 Chevrolet Corvette Z06. It has 62,015 miles on it, and it was really cheap. It was really cheap. It's not the cleanest car around, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. It needs a little bit of love, and we fully intend on giving it to her.
So let's get the whole story out of the way here. On those, what are they, like 7-year-old summer tires when it's 30 degrees out? Getting a little squirrely here. Holy crap.
My son sold his CTS-V like 2 weeks ago here in 2023, 2004 CTS-V, beautiful car, awesome car.
Absolutely amazing car.
And he wasn't necessarily planning on buying a new C5 Z06 until he found just the right one. Well, it wasn't more than about 2 hours after he had sold his CTS-V that, sitting on the couch, open up Facebook, and there it was, been listed for 40 minutes, this C5 Z06 located in Missouri. And it wasn't very appealing in the pictures because of some body damage.
Yeah, so this vehicle, what they claim, was supposedly hit by a deer 12 years ago. I don't know if I fully believe that after looking at some of the damage, but it does look like we hit a curb up front and possibly a small incident with another vehicle here on the side. So this vehicle does need a new door, a new fender, a new quarter panel, a new radiator support, possibly a new front bumper, as well as some love on the paint on the entire car.
So this car was owned by some Corvette enthusiasts. They had owned 4 C5s at one point. Some people that are getting elderly. The husband had just recently passed away, and this was the wife's car that they actually purchased new in Michigan. So This is a one-owner, 60,000-mile C5 Z06 that my son purchased for $16,500.
So let's talk about what the plan is with this C5 Z06. I'm gonna be honest, guys, this has been one of my dream cars for like 3 years now. Now, I know a C5 isn't a very high bar to have set for a dream car, but everything about the platform of the C5 Z06 has more than been appealing to me. I love everything about it. I love the look of the outside of it. I love the powertrain. The LS6 is such an amazing motor, paired with the T56 in back for the first time, which they did in the C5. It was the first C5 or the first Corvette they ever put the transmission in the back of, which brings the weight distribution of this Z06 to almost a perfect 50-50 split,
right,
making it an excellent track car. Not only that, but the C5 Z06 weighs right around 3,100 pounds and boasts 405 horsepower out of the 5.7-liter LS6. Truly amazing numbers out of a 20-year-old car. This vehicle is incredibly quick as well. It's right around a 4-second 0 to 60, and I believe a 12.3 second quarter mile. So that's pretty impressive.
Right. A lot of people would argue that this is one of the best sports cars that you can buy on the market today. When you take everything into account, the characteristics, the driving, the power, the cost, like this is it. This is a modern day sports car, even though it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
that is truly an absolute riot that you can buy.
For around low to mid $20,000, you can pick yourself up a very clean C5 Z06. However, like he mentioned, we have this one for $16,500. So let's talk about the plans for it.
Before we talk about the plans, though, I think it's fun to share the story. Whether anyone else cares, this will be fun for you and I to look back on.
Absolutely.
Right? So this car was located about 7-8 hours away from home. Our original plan was to take your Ford Maverick down, and then you were going to drive this back. I was going to drive your Maverick back.
That was the plan.
That was the original plan, and then the plan turned into, well, I have to get a trailer home from the Kansas City area.
Yep.
So we'll drive a truck down there that can tow the trailer.
Yep.
We'll go pick up the car, come back and get the trailer, and then we'll head home from there.
Yep.
And as I looked at the forecast on our drive home, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I think we need to put this car on the trailer and hope that we get home safely.
Yeah, so about 40 minutes after we purchased the car, we ended up finding a spot where we were able to load it onto the trailer because
Right.
this wasn't a car trailer. And this wasn't necessarily our intent, but we then pulled it onto this trailer because we found this perfect little dip, and away home we went, and I'm very glad we stopped then to put it on the trailer.
Right. It was essentially rain the entire way. We get into the state of Iowa, which it looks like it's raining, and then all of a sudden it's like
car spun out. I've never seen so many cars spun out in such a short period of time in my life.
And shortly after it looked like rain, there was the biggest snowflakes I've ever seen in my life. Like, it physically looked like there was snowmen falling out of the sky.
They were absolutely massive. I kid you not. There were probably 3-inch snowflakes.
Yes, and I even think at one point I saw a snowman kung fu kicking another snowman that was falling out of the sky.
That's pretty insane. And the C5 definitely had its fair share of snowflakes, covered up on the front end of it. It piled onto this thing like cement. It was coming down so hard.
Yeah, so our drive, this added about 3 hours to our drive, but ultimately we got home safely. We got the car unloaded safely. It was a bit of a chore getting it into the garage because our driveway was covered in snow and ice, and this thing has absolute bald summer tires on it.
It sure does.
But we did get it in there safely. We were able to lift it up on our lift, take a peek at it, and what we found was a pretty solid car for the most part.
Yeah, the underside and the full powertrain of this C5 Z06 appears to be entirely solid. Everything looks clean as can be. It looks like there's a small seep in the rear differential and probably an axle seal that I'm not worried about at all. Other than that, powertrain looks totally normal. Everything else, I was fully intending on knowing going into purchasing. Except, well, I guess there was two things. I didn't know it was going to need brakes. Not a big deal. I can't really count that. And I didn't know that it was on replica wheels. So these are not the original Z06 fancy wheels that are extremely lightweight. It is on chrome replicas. So I am trying to find a used set of wheels.
Yeah, and there's one of the wheels that's pitted pretty bad and just looks gross.
Yeah, it does look pretty bad. So comment down below if you guys know of a cheap set of wheels around.
But we do have a climate control that works.
We have a climate control that works. I have a heads-up display that works. I have every interior function that works. I have working pop-up headlights. I mean, everything. Everything mechanically about this car is solid.
Right. It just looks like maybe it wasn't cared for like the absolute best. Like a little paint touch-up, some paint correction, do some maintenance, and you have a pretty rock-solid car. Even, we've already started to price out the doors, the quarter panel, and the rocker panel, and about $1,000 into it there.
Yep.
How much are you putting into fluids?
I spent about $130 on all the fluids, every single fluid. I spent about $450 on brakes, and then based on what I'm looking at for wheels and tires, I'm guessing it's going to be around $1,500 for a new set of wheels and tires. So that puts me right around $19,500 total into having a
one owner.
What should be very clean, one owner C5 Z06 with 60,000 miles on it, which puts me between $3,000 and $6,000 below current market value of this car.
And just to clarify something, the body damage that is on this car, it was never reported to anyone. So this title is 100% clean, no flags,
no
extremely high.
No anything.
What is it called on the not the Carfax, but the score?
Oh, auto check. The auto check has a very high score. There's no red flags, lots of maintenance history, and that accident or dent, whatever, was never reported to insurance.
So what started as a vehicle, first impression, they disclosed right away that it had some damage. They said it was a deer strike in the Facebook ad. I don't think it was, but neither here nor there. it wouldn't be necessarily appealing at first until you start looking into the details of the fact that it's a one-owner car, it's got 60,000 miles, and it has an incredible maintenance history that goes along with it.
Sure does, and it sounds like this.
It's pretty awesome. Speaking of which, the only modification to the car,
The only modification to this car is the Billy Boat Bullet catback exhaust system. So other than that, every single thing on this car appears to be stock. I even believe it still has the factory skip shift, which needs to be deleted.
other than those ugly chrome replica wheels.
And the ugly chrome replica wheels. This thing does 70 miles an hour in second gear.
Yeah, that's a good time.
That's a good time. This thing is no slouch, even with zero traction all the way to 70. Plans for this C5 Z06, what we're going to start off with is the first video you guys are going to see is changing all of the fluids on it. So we're going to start with changing every single fluid, starting from the engine. We're hopefully going to do clutch. I need to look up how to bleed that. We're going to be doing transmission fluid, rear differential fluid, and brake fluid. Then we are going to be doing brakes all around on this car. Followed by, I'm not sure what parts are going to show up when, but we are going to be doing the radiator support, so that's going to be a big job that I'm going to document us doing that. After that, we're going to see how the bumper looks and see if that needs to be repaired or replaced.
I think it'll be salvageable.
I think the bumper is going to be able to be saved. Then after that, we're going to probably start working with the body panels. So like I said, we have the rocker panel, which is going to be a very big job. I need to do some research. I don't know how to do that. We have the door, we have the fender, and I think that's going to be it. And then from there, we're going to start doing modifications. So
yeah, we're up against a bit of a time crunch because we're actually taking this car across the country, all the way from Minneapolis down to Atlanta, up into North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee for the Hot Rod Power Tour 2023. So we have a bit of a time crunch to get going. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey in the C5 Z06 as Austin and I'm Todd, his dad. We start our journey together. American Muscle. Let's get this thing in the garage before we start sliding off the road here.
let's do it. Thank you guys. See you later.